I feel like I'm at a loss for words after completing episodes 14 and 15 of that Shangri-La Frontier greatness, because this has been one of the most pleasant surprises we have seen in this type of genre of anime. Take that video game-ish, because there's so much anime with video game HUDs and all that. But just a straight up jumping into a video game and actually being like, not only does this feel like it was made by a gamer for a gamer, it actually is just a really fun adventure series. And sure, there's always those people, well, why should I care? There's no stakes because the characters can't die. And it's like, bro, do you watch slice of life series where the characters go to school because they can't die or get hit by a truck and it doesn't have stakes? Like, the idea of watching your favorite Twitch streamer go through a raid in whatever game they're playing, and the sweating, because you're like realizing all this planning, all this preparation, hours of work, are they going to complete it? And yeah, just because if they don't, they get to try again, you know, that's still exciting, that's still thrilling. And the idea that for something like this, it actually does kind of feel like here's our one shot and our one shot only. We screwed over the PKing guild. We screwed over a lot of people. This is our shot. Can we defeat Weathermon? And honestly, hopefully, but between episodes 14 and 15, it's that setup. They don't rush into the fight. They don't just say, hey, the only reason people watch a show like this is for the fun-looking fights. Those are great. Those are added bonuses, and those definitely feel like big raid bosses that anyone who plays video games like these would want to do. But the thing that ties this whole show together is the fact that the way these characters, especially our boy, Sunraku, just goes around this world feeling like he's actually manipulating a world the same way I would playing a game like this. It doesn't come across as simply being a self-insert fantasy. While yes, I do feel like he makes the actions I would make, he as a person feels like a genuine character and someone I would want to play video games with and would become one of my best friends when playing a game like this. This show has no right on paper to be as good as it is, but as soon as you see the first episode, you realize that it's something special. And whether it's going into a glitchy, buggy video game in episode 14 and just finding a new bug, like who the hell wouldn't play a broken ass game when you're continuously finding new bugs like those, to episode 15 screwing over a PK guild, and the fact that I continue to look at the game balance in this world as perfection. The idea that, yeah, you can go around PKing people, but if you kill a PKer, you can rob everything off them. That's not too crazy. But you can also rob their inventory at like a banking system. I'm like, it's so balanced. The only thing that you can really make an argument, is it really fair, is these grand unique bosses. Because if you defeat it, seemingly no one else will ever be able to defeat it. But that's not really an issue when seemingly they're constantly updating the game and there's just going to be unique things. And as we see, like, you can kill people and steal their shit. So, like, it's all very balanced in my opinion. And I continue to say, there ain't nothing like Shangri-La Frontier. Now, if you would like to see my full uncut thoughts to episodes 14 or 15, they're over on my Patreon. I just covered them today. I was a episode behind. They had an episode 14.5, I think it was, last week. And then, obviously, it was like a big break because they had the break after the New Year's and everything. But we're back. We're back to that Shangri-La greatness. And honestly, watching 14 and 15 back to back, this is going to be such a great binge for so many anime fans someday, whether a rewatch or I'm just thinking of my own anime catalog when I was first getting into anime. These types of anime, I mean, there's a reason why stuff like a SAO or a dot hack, you know, a lot of people when first getting into anime, if they like video games or video game systems, they binge watch shows like those. The great thing about where we're at with anime now is, you know, even stuff like outside of the traditional anime realm, like a King's Avatar or now Shangri-La Frontier, we have these shows that we can just firmly recommend. We don't have to say, yeah, it's really cool in this way, but you gotta understand there's some cringy stuff or some poorly written stuff here. You don't have to say that with something like a Shangri-La Frontier. We can easily recommend this to beginners or people who have been around the anime medium for a while like ourselves and just say, this is so good and it's so freaking fun. I mean, I've mentioned it in my Tsukimichi videos. The studio who originally did season 1 of Tsukimichi is actually the studio that's currently making Shangri-La Frontier. And now the fact that JC Staff is now doing Tsukimichi Season 2, we get two talented studios giving us two cores of two very good series, and I just couldn't be happier. I don't even know if I have a favorite moment throughout these past two episodes. I mean, the fight that we got, I mean, the best way to describe it is as much as it's a cliffhanger and we didn't get to see as much of the fight as I thought we were going to get in episode 15, if you give me two options, a bite of a Gordon Ramsay hamburger or a Big Mac, I'm taking the bite. Sure, the bite isn't going to fill my stomach, but it's going to taste better than that Big Mac any day of the week. And that's how I felt with a 5-minute fight scene with this boss, because even though we didn't get to see a lot, they made every frame, every second count. And that's probably the most entertaining things out of the past 2 episodes, but there's a lot of small moments throughout these 2 episodes that are equally worth it. Let's talk about the fight first and foremost, and then we'll talk about all the little moments that I really enjoyed. So the fight's really cool because we don't know exactly how to defeat this thing because no one's ever done it. The theory is it's a condition. It's not about getting the health to 0 because that might be impossible given the 150 level difference because they're dropped down to level 50 and this thing's what, level 150, 200, something like that. The idea that we're setting Sunraku, probably our best fighter, to try to start going through things. Sure, he does technically die, but they throw that cast of revival on him and he's back up. The fact that, the idea we're sticking with right now is it's time-based, and most likely maybe we reach 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, 30 minutes in, something's probably going to change and there's going to be a new condition, like maybe if we deflect a certain weapon or something. It's hard to say for sure, but there is going to be a condition that's probably going to be the way we defeat it rather than simply getting him to 0. Could Sunraku do it? Potentially. It's not impossible to imagine our bird brain being able to, get that boy to 0 health points, but that's probably not the direction we're going. Either way, the animation was clean. Like, I love the fact that it's very fast paced, but sometimes they'll go into almost a slow-mo. They slow it down to like a fourth of the framing, just so we can really zoom in and be like, oh my god, look at that swing, look at how he's dodging, look at the momentum. Just so good. It's so perfection, and I can only begin to imagine what next episode's gonna look like. But the great thing is, like, the action wasn't the thing that made these past 2 episodes worthwhile. Episode 14, as an example, it's a lot of like, okay, we're in this buggy video game, we're trying to figure out how to, we're training, right? We're doing our thing, but it turns into just discovering a new bug in this video game. And I love the fact that as soon as it happens, because Sunraku, he gets like 3/4 of his health done from this like Luffy level of attack. And then what ends up happening is with the second attack, it's something they've never seen before, and they have a little strategy meeting and realize you just discovered a new bug. It's little moments like those because when you look at this world, it's just a decaying ruins. The mechanics are apparently glitchy as hell, but who the hell wouldn't want to play a video game like that when you're constantly finding new silly ways to beat each other up and breaking the game, like having doppelgangers and having 2 character models in one, as one holds you down and you beat the living shit out of them. That is hilarious. And who wouldn't want to play that? The idea that our girl has spent like 2 to 3 weeks trying to send a letter, turns out to be way too formal, got declined, and now she has to go kill a PKing guild anyway. It's just like, it's the little moments that really get me, or how, Emile's sister ends up swindling us for all of our money, like $80,000 for a single sword or something. Like, that was just savage. Best part, honestly, was that PKing raid, because the idea of what they did with the PKers is really good because obviously we know they're very powerful, they're very deadly. We also know that they've been doing some scummy things because just being in the presence of the floor boss allows you to gain experience, and honestly you can see how you can definitely cheese that and get a lot of levels doing that. So the idea that basically we expose their hideout, we learn that if you kill a PKer, you can take everything they have, including stuff in their storage, which is insane. That's like putting a gun to your head and telling the person to take everything from their bank and giving it to you. Like, that's the level it is. But the thing is if you go to their hideout, you can really screw them over. And the fact that they have the whole cavalry there screwing them over, a few of them try to escape because they're going to go to, obviously the spawn point for the boss, can't get in, and they finally realize who screwed them over. The dude was an idiot. Apparently this is her brother, at least the way he says sister, so I assume that this isn't just some like in video game, this is my sister. No, I think it's actually brother and sister feuding here, and that's hilarious. The dude was kind of an idiot though, because they were literally standing there waiting for our girl to come in, for Pencil to get there, and they're still running, and they're like, wow, I wonder who screwed us over. And it took until that barrier for them to realize, oh shit, sister screwed us. It's like, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, but it's hilarious nonetheless. Either way, this was fantastic. These were great episodes. Next week, gonna be even crazier. Let me know your thoughts on where Shangri-La Frontier has been going, and where do you hope to see it go in the future? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, you also get a video shout out. So today, we have Jonathan Bromlow, Purple Kush, Chawwick, and Rerun. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.